So we're talking about parts for pop songs, and this is basically a rule of thumb for any kind of music, country, rock, just the tones kind of change a lot. But generally, say we had a chord progression that was like one of these 4-chord songs that we hear on the radio all the time, like maybe songs have like that kind of progression. So that's D, which is your 1 chord, to the A major, which is 5, B minor, which is your 2, and then 4, right? So my approach when a producer calls me in to do something is, with very limited amount of notes and tools, what's the most I can get without stepping on the rest of the song. So like I might, for instance, just want to take a two note, we call it an ostinato pattern. That's like a repetitive pattern maybe. So if we have, so E, which is the second note in the scale of D major. 1, 2. So that note seems to go nicely over all of those chords, like A. It's the 5th in the scale of A. It's the 11th of B. It's the 6th of G. So maybe I might do some 2-note pattern that involves the E note. So like, obviously put a cool sound on it, something, maybe some slapback delay or some kind of cool thing, but maybe that could be your hook, you know, like and then maybe, you know, usually after you develop an idea 2 or 3 times, then maybe change the idea a little bit. You don't want to just hammer it out too much, but maybe something like that. Wait, right? So that's a great hook idea. I'm sure anybody would find that catchy. You don't want to play something where you're, you know, voice leading is important. We call it where you don't want to play something like, you know, like you don't want to change too much from one range of the instrument when you're creating a hook. It's more about like staying with the same notes, pick something that works good over the whole chord progression. So that's one idea. You can do 1 note, even if it's like, you know, like, you know, so something like that also works with a cool effect, a fuzz sound, or just one little, I call that like the siren hook, when you find one note that kind of just wails over the whole chord progression in a repetitive way. So yeah, and then of course if you have like electric guitar, you can do some volume swells with like some delays, maybe some chorus and reverb. You can have these clean, like, you know, whatever kind of like, you know, like sort of almost keyboard pad type things. Can't demonstrate that on acoustic guitar. But of course you have arpeggio parts, which are like, called an arpeggio, which is a way to add some rhythmic flavor. It could be any kind of arpeggio. It could be like, right? Or any kind of ascending or descending pattern. You also have, of course, power chords like playing mostly like the fifth intervals, right? And you can also do what we call footballs, which are whole notes. Right? So those are all different things you can put over that chord progression to help it out. It's a good start.